The worst thing a woman can do, statistically speaking, is to get married to a man. Married women do not live as long as single women. They do not earn as much money as single women. They are not as happy as single women. They are more likely to suffer from addiction than single women. They are more likely to commit suicide than single women. They are more likely to die of homicide than single women. They report themselves in every single way that you can measure sociological data for wellness as being less contented than single women. Conversely, married men, on the other hand, married to women, outperform single men by such a measure that it is perhaps the healthiest thing that a man can do is to get a woman to marry him.
The devil wants to attack me. Devil, you kiss my ass. I don't think about you. And I'm quite sure I make more than your husband in 1 month than he does in a year. And I knew it was God's way of telling me, I know you about to be mad at me. We keep it real over here so you can see how we just came back. All right, welcome to Honestly, Kendra G, and I'm gonna have so much fun in today's episode because the title is Happily Not Married. Cheers to all the women who are not married. Cheers to you. Cheers, take a sip. This is not alcohol, I don't drink. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's not alcohol. I wanted to do this episode. First, I want to start off with this. I believe in marriage. So this is not an episode bashing the institution of marriage. I respect the institution of marriage. Most of my friends are married. I have said this 1,000 times. I think it's a beautiful thing if you find someone that you can agree to do life with. So please do not mistaken the title for I'm against marriage and I think marriage is whack. No, that is furthest from the truth. But what I do believe in is some people may just not get married. And it's very important for me to know that you are worthy. God knew that before he brought you to this planet. And don't let the world brainwash you to attach your worth to your relationship status of being married or not. So cheers to wives, cheers to women who are happily married. And I want to say happily married because here's the deal. If you like it, I love it. It's your life. But no, I do not respect a marriage where you're just not happy and you just got into the institution of it because of whatever reason. And there's 1,000 reasons why people get married. But if it's not something that you are happy in and it's not benefiting your life, then no, I personally don't respect it. But again, it's your life. And if you like it, I love it. But I wanted to spend some time this episode just to break down what's kind of happening and why women are happily not married. First of all, I own a dating app, okay? And the ultimate goal for my dating app is marriage. So shout outs to the 12 plus people since I created my show, Kendra G Singles, and now we have the dating app that have actually gotten married. I've been to 2 weddings out of the 12. I have more weddings to go to. So again, I believe in the institution of marriage, but what I do not believe in is getting married just for the title, just to say that you are married, for the wedding day, you know, for the beautiful dress, to invite everybody to the party, and you know you're not really happy, but you got to show up with a smile on your face. That's what I don't believe in. And when I think of marriage, that's absolutely what I think of. I don't think of the wedding day. I don't think of the honeymoon. I think of the full package. Can I agree to put everything second to this human being? Can I agree to go on this life journey with this human being? That's what marriage means to me. I talked about this in episode 1, how I actually was engaged. I did everything people suggest. You know, I went to college. I got my bachelor degree. Can I talk? I got my bachelor's degree, and I also met a man that was going to give me my MRS. Yes, me and my college sweetheart got engaged. And what I loved so much about both of us is we agreed that if we got married, divorce was not an option. And I actually believe that everybody should take that stance. If you are going to get married to a person, can you agree that divorce is not an option no matter what? He loses his job, she loses her job, you will still be there. She gains 60 pounds, he gains 60 pounds, she will still be there. You know, life happens and nobody's perfect. An outside baby gets created, you will still stay there. Because let's get into it. Like, I think that when people call me up to my show, they just present marriage as Disney World. Like, everything is so glorious and everything is so perfect. And that is not always the case, okay? Like, I have two friends, and I love, like, their parents are amazing, right? And I was like, they got, like, this is like the real life Cosby Show, like two separate friends. And what I learned in their parents' marriage, an outside child was created in both situations. But obviously, their mothers never got a divorce. And that's just kind of what it was. And I don't know what she went through. I don't know what they went through overall, but that was a reality of their confinement. Now, am I saying that this happens in every marriage, that, you know, the man is going to have an outside baby? Of course not. So again, please don't misconstrue my words and say I'm trying to paint marriage as this dark institution and you have to tolerate so many things, but that is a component of marriage. Of course, if you're able to meet a person and you guys can agree to be best friends and it's you two against the world, that is a beautiful thing. And that is the marriage that I salute. Cheers to you. But what I have learned is that's not necessarily everyone's life truth and life journey and life plan. And I have learned that in this day and age, there's an attack on women who are not married. And I'll just use myself. And this is why I wanted to do this episode so bad, because I have heard time and time again, yes, she's successful. Yes, she's attractive. I love that y'all always say the truth, because baby, you got eyes, you can see it. And yes, she appears to be happy. I'm happy. I have no idea why that can't be received, that I'm actually happy. They say she appears to be happy, but she's not married and she doesn't have children. Where's the insult? Where's the insult? Are you trying to imply that a woman truly cannot be happy if she's not married and does not have kids? That is such a lie. And some women have fell for that brainwash technique. And what happened is they got married and then they learned the truth. For them, they were not happy. And now they have children and now they're resenting their lives because they were able to get manipulated to this saga, I want to say, that says if you are not a married woman, you are not worthy. You need to be attached to a man to be worthy. Listen, it doesn't always work that way. And I got to tell you something. I am beyond proud that I can say I built my shit brick by brick, and can't no man get any, he cannot get any credit from it. I learned recently that some people, because I live in a very shoot building, and I learned that some people actually thought I am like an ex-wife and my money comes from like a settlement from a divorce, because they can't fathom their mind around the fact that a woman could miss the kind of success that I have and project it to have even more without being attached to a man. And it blows my mind. It literally blows my mind that there is this taboo feeling that a woman can't do as a man. And let me break that down when I say do as a man, as in finding their purpose and going for it with the sacrifice in that moment of getting married. And the reason I say this is men are given grace. Men are almost even taught, don't get a wife, build something for your life. Go out there, make something of yourself, get a good job, and then get a family. And women are manipulated to believe, find the man that's going somewhere and attach yourself to him. Now, here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, that very much may be your life journey. There are some women who were born to be attached to a man, get married, and his growth is her growth. And sis, there's really no diss. Like, I'm not here to judge because I know God, and God is not in a box. God has brought us all to earth. We all have different purposes, and that might be your journey, and I respect that. But I have to say, that's not the only journey that deserves respect. A woman that has decided that, you know, I'm going to live my complete self. I'm not going to shrink to be somebody's wife, and I'm not going to conform and give up my own dreams to be somebody's wife. That also needs to be respected, because that's what they're trying to manipulate. They're trying to manipulate women who are successful to believe, yes, you have everything but a man. Where's the insult? And then also, what does that mean, but a man? See, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about me personally is that I have no men in my life. I actually have a lot of men in my life. There's actually an army of men literally in my life. Just because I'm not sleeping with them in the bed doesn't mean that there's not men that's in my life, in my corner, that is about Kendra for real, 10 toes down. And that's another misconception, because see, all you do is you go off of social media. And what I've learned is, and I had to learn to give grace, there's a lot of people who are truly miserable. And because social media is free and most people have phones, it's no thing for you to just be in the comment section and say something negative. And I really saw a pattern. Like, I literally would post a video and I'm just walking happy, like, and I would see the things. Yeah, but you ain't got no husband. Yeah, but she ain't really happy. Yeah, but she ain't got no kids. Baby, I'm just walking down the street. Like, what does that have to do with me having a husband? I'm at the BET Awards, and then I see these men, yeah, but you ain't got. So what I've come to terms is, see, men have lost their power that men had many, many years ago. See, there was a power that men had over women, and that was a power of control. There was a time when women couldn't get bank accounts, women couldn't get a house in their name. It was not socially acceptable to even have children without a husband. That was a time period. So women just sucked it up. They just dealt with it because there really wasn't an option of leaving him. The society wasn't going to accept you. How was you going to get jobs? So men were able to control women back then with finances and access. Well, it's a new day. I got to say cheers again. Even though I ain't drinking, I'd be like, we need to just cheers. It's a new day. Honey, women got their own coin. Women got access. You cannot manipulate women with money anymore. Now, there are some women you can't. So let me say this. There are some women that you can still, and maybe the word manipulate isn't proper. There are some women who are dealing with you because their finances are attached to it. And again, like I said, you like it, I love it, it's your life, girlfriend, do you. But there are some women that you cannot control with finances. And these are the women that men hate the most because they want to be able to control. And when they can't control you, and when you are able to walk away from them and not miss a beat in your lifestyle, they don't know what to do with it. And I have heard this so many times, like, oh, well, you know, the reason you're not married is because you're so successful, you're outspoken, you're not easy to control. Do you understand that this does not insult me? This really insults you as a man. Because what you're saying is, in order for you to have a wife, she has to be less successful, she has to be controllable, and she has to not have a voice, which means she will not be outspoken. So that doesn't insult me. It actually insults you, because what it proves is you can't deal with a woman that can challenge you in a way that you're not ready to deal with. And listen, I am not here to judge it. I'm just here to correct it, because sometimes I see shots that people deem to be insults, which I take as a compliment. If you don't know, I'm 46 years old. I tell my age because I love my age. I'm a person who loves aging, because I also learned another secret of life. Your life don't stop at 30. Your life don't stop at 35. It don't stop at 40. I'm here to tell you the secret. It gets better. Every year of my life, it gets better. So I don't live by the human clock of them saying by this age, you better be married, have children. No, honey, I'm on God's clock. And guess what? God's clock is still going because I still have breath in my body. Inhale, exhale, okay? So you're not going to manipulate me to conform at a certain level because of an age that you have decided to live through. Because there's plenty of people who actually do live by the society clock for if you don't have this by a certain age, you better do it. And that's the biggest mistake, because then let's just say you are that woman that says, I got to be married by 29, and you meet a person and you get married because you're 29, but then you learn that you're not really happy. You did it because of the manipulation of you have to do this by a certain age. Now, I talked about this in episode 1, and we talked about children. And yes, there is some truth to women and wanting to have children. Now, granted, if 60 is going to be hard for you to have kids biologically, okay? But you can adopt. There's so many ways to be a mother, right? Like, I think that I have to say this because, yes, biologically, there can be could be a time frame for a woman that wants to have a child biologically. But we have already seen women at the age of 50 with assistance become mothers. And guess what? Maybe that's not for you. Maybe that's not for you. I respect that, but you can't judge the woman that it's for. See, life is not one size fit all. What you got to discover is what works for you. That's what it's all about, okay? And what I've come to terms is, with social media in particular, we have voices and opinions from people who have decided what you're doing is not right. And it is very important that, they convince you to live to their standards. Since this topic is about happily not married, I want to take some time and talk about this leftover conversation of women. So there was a woman that came on my dating show, and she said, we're the leftovers. And let me tell you something. I stopped her in her tracks. Let me tell you something. You cannot just speak anything on my life and I will agree to it. Words and what you speak upon your life matter. And I told her, listen, I am not a leftover. I won't be a leftover at 80. I'm just not. I'm going to be a 5-star meal, a main course at 85 years old. You don't have to agree. Your opinion does not matter. I'm not running for a president. Your vote does not count for my life. So you can have your opinion, but your opinion only affects you. As I said, I will not be a leftover, even at the age of 90. As long as I'm alive, I'm never going to be a leftover. And that video was on my page. And then there was a woman in the comment section that said, you are a leftover and you just need to agree to it. And I said, again, if you consider yourself a leftover, then that's your business. But I'm never going to consider myself a leftover. And she said, I would never be a leftover because I'm married to the man I have 3 kids with and he's a provider. Now I responded, and I'm going to tell you in advance, what I said was very cocky, but she brought me there and I had to make a point. And the point that I said, listen, girlfriend, if you like it, I love it. But your husband is the bar of your life. And I'm quite sure I make more than your husband in 1 month than he does in a year. So that means in order to be married to your husband, I would have to have a lower life and I would rather see Jesus first. Cheers to that. Let's get into it, because I think it's very important to talk about every marriage is not equal, okay? Just being married to me is not a flex. Being married and having a wholesome marriage and you can still be your complete self, now that's a flex. Now listen, like I said 1,000 times, if it works for you, you like it, I love it. It's your life, girlfriend. I don't want your life though. Okay, so as you're trying to judge me and use your life as an example of happiness, I don't want to switch places. I like my life. I wake up every day. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest with y'all, sometimes I wake up every day and I can't even believe this shit. My life used to be a dream. It used to be a dream, and now it is literally my reality. And I don't want to switch places with none of you girls. There was a time I used to want Beyonce's life until I realized how hard Beyonce worked. Beyonce worked too damn hard, y'all. Let me tell you something. Beyonce don't cancel concerts in the rain. I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't singing 2.5 hours for you hoes and rain. I'm just not doing it. So let me tell you something. Beyonce, who got my utmost respect, I decided she could have that life, child. I can't do it. I'm gonna be the best at being Kendra G. But I just wanted to share that because there's this commentary that's going on of people trying to say that their life is better. I'm not going to say my life is better than your life because you may be happy in your life, and I respect that. My question is, why can't you respect that I'm also happy in my life? Why do you want to feel that I'm not happy? Why is it important for you to believe that, yes, I'm successful, yes, life is still going for me, but she's not happy? You know, that is what I can't wrap my mind around until I figured it out. Misery loves company, and I am people's worst nightmare. Let me break it down to you. I am a lot of people's worst nightmare because I'm a black woman. I'm a woman. Let's start there. I'm a woman first. I'm a black woman, and I'm a dark-skinned black woman, and I know my worth. You cannot convince me that I am less than ever, honey, and I'm going to keep going. And it's been my secret to my success that people cannot brainwash me to live at the limits that they really have for their lives. See, what happens is I surpass people in the limits they have in their own lives, and that makes them feel away. You see how, like, think about it in this way. If you outgrew a person that you did high school with, right? Let's say you guys went to high school together and you kept growing in life and you're learning, your growth makes them feel uncomfortable. The reason it makes them feel uncomfortable is because your success indirectly makes them feel less than. Because they could look at a celebrity and say, yeah, they made it, salute to them. But to be attached to a person that they knew, maybe came from the same city, went to the same high school, go so far in life, it makes them feel like, well, what did I do wrong? Why haven't I gone further in life? And that jealousy and envy, it eats them alive. So what happens is it comes across as hate. Like, I know that the people in the comment section at times, and I'm learning to pray more for them because I know you're just not happy in life. You don't hate me, you hate your life. And when you see my life, it makes you so upset to see a person so happy, so fulfilled with all the things that you think are required, without the things that you think are required to be fulfilled. Ooh, that pisses you off. I know it does. And I can see right through it because you are speaking out loud. And I wonder this, if you are so happy, why do you even have time? Why do you even have time to focus on me? I don't focus on you because I live my life. That's what I do. I live my happy ass life. You should try to do the same. You shouldn't be worried about the people on the internet if you are genuinely happy. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of people are not genuinely happy. And you have to know this, and this is why you cannot allow them to have you move into their mansion of misery, because misery loves company. Now, I want to stay on theme, and there's a couple of things I wanted to talk about when it comes to marriage. So let's break down marriage in this time of the day, 2025. But, you know, this video is going to live forever. So you might watch this in 2030 or whenever you watch it. But right now it's 2025. It's a whole new world, okay? It's a whole new world. Oh, baby, I can't sing. If I could sing, child, trust me, I would be on a stage. Marriage right now is difficult for a lot of people because you got social media. That is the number one thing you got to think about when it comes to social media. There was a time I feel like men kind of have been men forever, and there are some genuinely good guys. So I want to salute men because I'm not a male basher. I know so many amazing men, like truly amazing men, and they are a part of my life. So you know what? Cheers to you. But there's a lot of goofy men on the internet. There's a lot of goofy men on the internet, baby. And one thing I've learned, internet men, ooh, child, these are the poor babies that can hide because in life, in person, they have no, I don't want to use the word coof, but they're small. They're small in person, but they can be a giant online. But to me, you're still small because I can see right through you, right? So I think that sometimes because of the comment section and some of the men that I have to respond to at times, you're the men that I know are not happy. And that's why God's working on me. I'm working to pray more and feel grace for your unhappiness than to be offended by the words that come out of your mouth, because happy people don't talk and say the certain things on the internet in the comment section that a lot of men have stated. But you wonder why some of you men can't get wives. A woman would happily choose a dog than to be married to you. And I think that's a hard pill for some men to swallow because women are just not agreeing to be attached and to have a spiritual well-being under attack and under anxiety and being stressed out because she's married to you, okay? Now, I do want to flip this. There are some quality men who women take them through, and that's not right either because, and I think we should just revert and talk about that right now. I think there are women who say they want to be married but don't really know the sacrifice of a wife. There are women who want the wedding day, want the honeymoon, want the bragging rights of being a wife, but don't really want the job description. They want the job title, but they don't want the job description. And like I said earlier, if you cannot marry a man and agree that death do us part, then you just shouldn't marry that man. And we are living in a time where there are some women who just don't know what the sacrifice of being a wife is. And one will say, Kendra, you're not married. How can you speak on marriage? What? That's the dumbest shit. Let me tell you why it's dumb. I don't have to get married to learn what marriage is. As I told you, all of my friends are married. So I witness firsthand the sacrifices they make on a daily basis. Also, I told you I was engaged, and it was a real engagement, not a play. We really took it serious. And in taking it serious, I learned that you have to decide that he comes first. Not your dream, not your journey. He comes first. And guess what? I was wise enough to say, that's not what I want. That's not my truth. I'm not giving up who God birthed me to be in order to say I'm somebody's wife. I'm not shrinking, okay? I'm not shrinking, but I'm not shrinking for a man. I'm not shrinking for no one. Like, let me tell you something. I'm at the halfway point of my life. I'm 46 years old. My grandmother died at 93, so I feel like I'm going to be here at least to 93, okay? But with that being said, I am at the point in my life, I'm not shrinking for a soul. I am going to live my full, complete self. And if you can be attached to that, great. If you can't, sorry, deuces, not mad at you. Go about your life. I'm going to go about mine. I'm not shrinking for no man. I'm not shrinking for no relative. I'm not shrinking for no friend. I'm not shrinking for nobody that watches my show. I'm just not shrinking. I'm living my full, complete life all the way until I see Jesus. And that's just what it is. So I'm not going to conform. And if the requirement is in order for you to get married, you have to become less than, well, y'all can have that shit because I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm not. And then if it's like, well, you can be your complete self, but you have to be the breadwinner and take care of the man that could be a part of your life. Now, here's the deal. Let me say this. I'm not against a woman making more than her man. That's actually more common than y'all know. I think a lot of women, I wish you guys knew that, because I feel like a lot of women admire marriages, not knowing that sometimes the marriage that you're admiring, the woman is the breadwinner. And like I said again, and I'll say it again, if you like it, I love it. There's nothing wrong with that. But I say this, I have worked extremely hard to be where I am. I have invested a lot of money to be where I am. It will be very difficult for me to just have a man laying up in my house because he got a pretty face and a nice package and he could give me the husband package. I'm not, being married ain't that important to me, okay? Being married to a man ain't that important to me that I'm going to go buy one and let him live up and benefit off of everything that I built. No, girlfriend, it ain't that important to me, child. But if it's that important to you, and if it makes sense, then do your thing. Like, there's really no hate. This episode really is just to be a voice for the women who truly are happily not married, and society is just having a difficult time accepting it. And as I said, they're having a difficult time accepting it because do you understand the type of freedom that gives women? Like the type of confidence that will give a woman if she can understand that I am whole in myself. I am whole in myself. Do you understand how powerful that is? So that means when you come to her life, you have to either be adding on. You can't take away, because she's whole in herself. This is why you have to be happy right now. Because I'm happy not married because right now is the only moment that I have. I mean, here's the deal. I pray I wake up tomorrow. I pray I have a week left on earth. I pray I have 10 more years. I pray I really will live to 93 like my grandmother did. But there's no guarantee to that. So I'm going to waste the second that I have that's guaranteed, which is this moment right now, and not be happy. I think that's an insult to God. I think that's an insult to God to not be happy if you are living. Because when I tell you this, and I mean it to my soul, there is a person that is praying for your problems, okay? There's a person that will switch life with you right now to have your problems. Okay, so you don't make that much money. You're breathing. There's a person in the hospital that's on a ventilator that wish they can switch places with you and just not have a job. Okay, you're in an apartment you don't like. There's a person that's homeless that wish they could switch places with you. Oh, you're homeless. There's a person that's homeless with no shoes and you have shoes that wish they could trade places with you. Like, there are so many people who wish for your problems, and God sees it all, okay? God sees it all. So to me, it's an insult to God if you don't use your moments of life and are happy in it. And that's why I'm happy not married, because in this moment, I'm not married, but I am happy. And I am grateful. And I know that I am blessed. I don't want to use the word lucky. I know that I am blessed that God has allowed me to be a voice. But I'm happy in this moment. I am single because I want to represent the happy single woman. Like, single women are not depressed and crying and worried. She got peace. And she is living her best life. She is spending time with her family. She is planning trips. She is dating. I mean, I don't know why y'all think that just because a woman's not in a relationship, she's not dating. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I said this on the Tamara Hall show, and child, baby, y'all could not handle it when I said I got a roster and may the best man win.
Single does not mean lonely. Single means nobody can't claim me.
Right.
And I got a roster. If you want to join the team, where the camera at, Cameron? Hit me up on Instagram, Kendra G Media. We got space for one. We got space
Because
for
I
one.
love that thing too, but just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean you're not dating.
First of all, you do as you do. I don't have sex without a committed relationship. So I don't even understand why people thought that I was just out here busting it wide open, child, for a plethora, a line of men. That's not the truth. What I meant is there are plenty of men that want to date me, and I am dating. And may the best man win, as in locking it down, and he gets the opportunity to have me exclusively. That's what dating is about. Girlfriend, listen, in your happy, not married season, you better be dating. You better have a couple of dates. And if you're not dating and you're not attracting men, well, then it's time for you to get yourself together. It could be a me time season. And a me time season could be, I don't know, maybe getting a better wig or getting your real hair pressed. You know, you got to be cute. Here's the deal. Don't let yourself go in your not married season. That's not what this is about. Get a gym pass, get a makeover, you know, go outside, meet people. I have a dating app, of course. Download the Kendra G Singles dating app, which I do promote. But I also want you to get your ass out the house and go around people. Be cute, be happy, be alive. Life is for the living, okay? You're not dead, so don't act dead, okay? Point blank, period. So in this non-married season, it's not a time for you just to be on your couch, you know, eating chips and scrolling online all day. Hell no to that. Get yourself up and get yourself together, because if your desire is marriage, your desire is companionship, and you are not attracting men that want to date you, well, it is time for you to look in the mirror and do some self-reflection and make some changes, okay? Now, you can be happy and not be married. That's what this whole theme is about. But I know for certain, a lot of women do desire marriage. And let's break down marriage, because I hear this, they say, is it unrealistic to even want to be married at a certain age? And here's the deal. Marriage, I think, is amazing. It doesn't make or break my life, though. Like, if I died tomorrow and the story was she never got married, that would not hurt my feelings, like, at all. But for some women, they are very much attached to being married. And what I would say to those women, you need to date, and you need to keep that in mind and decide what you can accept and understand the reality of marriage, and not your Disneyland fairy tale version of marriage. And I always say this: get you some married friends in real life, because married friends in real life will tell you the truth. I have a lot, well, literally mostly all my friends are married. They don't tell the stuff that they tell me on social media. Why would they? I don't even encourage them to do so. But every marriage is different, and everyone has gone through certain things. And I think if you get married friends in real life, they're going to tell you the truth, and then you will learn for yourself. Can you make that sacrifice? Were you born truly to be a wife? I know we talk about this, but were you really born to be a wife? And I'm talking to the women who are gun-ho on getting married, because there's a large portion of women who are gun-ho on getting married. And if that is you, really do some self-assessment. I cannot answer these questions for you. You know, I believe in God. If you don't believe in God, it's going to be very hard for me to really tell you anything, because God really is my source. And I have a direct line. I have a direct line to God, and he communicates to me extremely well. You have to tap into that for yourself. And you got to ask the questions and tell God to reveal to you the answers. And I promise you, he will reveal to you the answers. The questions that you got to then answer is, are you going to accept his answer? Because his answer might go against what you want. Yes, I know you want to marry that Negro, but he might not be the man you should marry. Okay? I know it. I know you want it so bad, girlfriend. The sex is so good. Y'all look so good together. You could be social media popping, but maybe it's not what God wants for you. Okay? And the only way you can find that out, I can't answer that question for you. That's between you and God. And I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Life is not one size fit all. I think the challenge that we are in today is because there's so many voices online and there's so much advice given. And it's like, it's this one formula of advice and every human is supposed to follow it. And that's just not the truth. What may work for one person just may not work for you. Be okay with that. You know, on the theme of marriage, I can look at someone's marriage and be so excited and so happy for them and not feel less than at all. Like not desire to feel any lack in my own life at all. I don't want their life because guess what? I don't want nothing that don't belong to me. Point blank, period. I don't want no man. I don't want no job. I don't want no friend. I don't want no clothing that is not made in my size. I don't want anything on the planet that doesn't belong to me. Because I've heard that too. It's she would be married, but the type of man she wants to marry doesn't want to marry her. Who is this imaginary man that you think I want to marry that doesn't want to marry me? Let me tell you something, honey. I don't want to marry anyone that doesn't want to marry me. So that's just not true. I don't want anything in life, period, that does not want me. I'm not a person that, just has to be attached to a person. That's just not how I live at all. Because let me tell you something. The moment you don't want me is the moment I don't want you. It's like, it's that fast for me, okay? And I think the other narrative is, I can be married. I can literally be married to wealthy men, okay? Those options have been presented to me. But because I am so in tune to the reality of what it will be, I knew I would be married, but would I be happy? I would have the stamp, I would have the ring, but would I be happy? Or will I just have the title, but deep down inside, feeling a certain type of way about it? And my answer was no. Now they'll say, well, that's wealthy men. What about the other men who maybe don't have as much money as you? And you should just marry him because he's going to treat you good. And so what? You are the breadwinner. Well, guess what? Baby, here's the deal. No. No. I mean, I could date a man. I could literally date a man that makes less. But I don't believe I would marry him. Just like y'all don't expect men who have created a certain amount of success for themselves to marry a woman that you would deem is not worthy of being his wife. I mean, it's a little different for men how they measure things, and they say things like, oh, well, do you qualify to be his wife? And it's normally about looks. It's normally about looks. Do you fit the package? Do you look pretty enough to get the opportunity to be claimed by a high value man? I'm going to break down high value man in my next episode. High value man is a myth. We'll break that down in the next episode. But staying on target for the conversation of what they say, are you qualified? Which means, are you young enough? Are you pretty enough? Are you feminine enough? Are you going to be quiet? Are you going to offer peace? That's what you have to be to win that package from that man that built all that he did. And guess what? You like it, I love it. I respect it if that's what he is looking for and the woman to be married to. But just like he has the opportunity to have a standard of who he marries, so do I, okay? And you're not going to convince me that I don't, because I stand on if I marry a man, he is a lucky somebody because I take marriage seriously. Okay, I'm the person that would be there for my husband to death do us part, regardless of what life throws at us. But the bottom line is this: alignment is key. And I have met some awesome men that I have been in relationships with. But you then get to a point where you decide or you learn you can't grow together any further. And that is okay. Nothing is wrong with that. It's life. I'm on a life journey. We are on a life journey. And what I love so much about my journey, every relationship has taught me so much about myself. And it has taught me that it's okay to love because that's what we're here to do. But it's okay to take your love away when it is not benefiting your life and it is not the right thing for you to do. Shout out to my co-executive producer, Alejandro, who just told me the time, so I took a break. We keep it real over here so you can see how we just came back. All right, but one thing he talked about is settling. Okay, I love talking about settling. See, I think that, and I don't want to get lost on this money conversation and my own personal thoughts of it, but let's break down settling. Do I think that money matters in marriage? Of course money matters in marriage. Like, people, money matters, okay? When you get to a certain level in life, money matters. But does it outweigh the key characteristics that I believe are important for marriage? Absolutely not. And I talked about this on my friend Latera's podcast, Dear Wifey, and I was saying that, God has blessed me with a father who is very reminiscent of God. God is my father, and then I have a human father who holds me down and loves me as such and is the reason why I will always love black men, because my father is a black man, and the type of love that my father has had for me throughout my lifetime. Like, since birth, my father has been in my life since I came out of my mother's, private areas. It is incredible. This type of love, I truly hope everyone gets to experience it. But sometimes you don't experience with the father. Sometimes you experience it with an uncle or your husband or, who knows, your grandfather. I don't know the life plan that God has sent for you. But I want to go back to settling. I get a lot of women that come on my show a lot of times and they're saying they will not settle. They're not going to settle. And usually money is a part of the conversation. Here's the deal. You like it, I love it. It's your life. That is fair. But I can say sometimes there are quality men that might align with you, because I do believe in alignment, who may not make as much. And they will say, well, Kendra, if that's truth for me, why isn't that truth for you? Who says that it's not truth for me? Just because I'm not married in this moment doesn't mean the game is over, right? Like, I know people have count that out for me, and I'm not even saying that it's happening for sure. I don't know what God has planned, but what I will say is it doesn't make or break my life. But I am dating, okay? I know y'all don't see nobody on social media. You ain't gonna see them, okay? But I am dating, and I'm dating quality people, and it's not about bank accounts. And since y'all wanna know, they not broke. It is what it is. It's just the life that the people I surround myself. But I don't count men out because of their bank accounts. I don't. So I am living by the same thing that I tell you to do. And I feel a lot of women really haven't dealt with a lot of men that have a lot of money, because these Negroes are so disrespectful at times, child. Like, they really believe that their money is power, and there's been enough women to prove to them that their money is power, because they tolerate disrespect. And they tolerate the disrespect because of what they gain being attached to the man that has money. And listen, you like it, I love it, it's your life. I can't be manipulated with money because I got my own. Cheers to that. So I'm not sure if I packaged it all the way, but I want to get the point across to settling. I believe settling is not attached to money. I believe if you find a man that aligns to your life, now hear me when I say this, aligns to your life, because there's some men who just don't align to your life and can be great men. That's not who I'm talking about, because he doesn't align to your life. And I use this example all the time, but it's just, the best example to use, Candy and Todd. Candy, obviously, she is a badass woman, talented beyond measure, Atlanta Housewives, a producer, an actress, a singer. I mean, the talents God gave her are just, the list goes on, and very wealthy. And when she met Todd, he was a part of the production team for Atlanta Housewives. He did not make the money that she made, but their alignment together, they have made millions together. Candy will tell you this story herself. So although he didn't have the coin, he had the alignment, and he added on to her life, and they have 2 children together. So that's what I'm talking about when I say, if you can meet a man that may make less, but aligns to your life. Now all this conversation is really about the very successful woman. What about the woman who does not have that much money? Let's get into it. I understand. You like, well, I ain't got money, so I need help myself. You like it, I love it. And if you want to focus on men that have money only, it's your life, girlfriend. It's your life, girlfriend. All I will say is, don't be blind to the bullshit. And don't get mad when, or if, because it doesn't always happen this way, but there's a high probability that you might be on a list of women who also want this man. So don't get mad that this is what you signed up for. Wear it with your chest. Be proud of yourself and your decisions, or just accept your decisions for whatever reason it has been. So settling, to me, listen, if you have a man that can be by your side, that could be there on your worst day, that will be with you in the hospital if life happens and now you're on a situation on your deathbed. And I always use this example. If you are in a coma and a person has to make the decision on whether you live or die, that person is valuable. And there's not a salary dollar attached to that. There's just not one, okay? But it does become more difficult when you get to a certain tax bracket, and I do understand that. But again, if you are a woman and being married is so important to you, don't get blind by the money if you can't handle what comes along with it. I respect it. I say, if that's what you want, go for it, girlfriend, but don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. And then someone will say, well, you're saying that all men that have money will cheat. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm not saying that all men with money cheat. What I am saying is, actually, I know a lot of men with money who don't cheat, but there's also a lot of men of money I know who just don't have a desire to get married. It doesn't make sense for them. Like, they have built a life without a wife, and they are happy with dating and dating as long as they desire, you know? And also, when you have money attached, you shrink your pool. You have to know this. Like, you can have a dollar amount attached, a requirement, but just know the pool of options is now smaller. My advice is to date and be happy. You know, you're not checking for nobody because you're happy. And if a guy really wants to be with you, he is going to do it. He's going to lock it in. If he doesn't lock it in, okay, you're good. There's 7 billion people on this planet. Why are you crying over one? That don't make no sense to me. I cannot fathom it. The world is large. The world is big. Go outside. Go to a city. Go, girl, go. That's what this time of you not being married is about. It's a time that you can be selfish. In every relationship I've ever been in, I've always had to conform and compromise because that's what a relationship is. You're going to have to compromise. So when you're single season, live your best life and discover yourself. And while you're living your best life and discovering yourself, you're going to meet people along the way. You're going to grow, and then you're going to be in an environment of a different type of guy because you are now a different woman in a different environment. Wear that with a smile on your face. Do not at all let anybody convince you that you're not worthy because you're not married. It's a lie. It's a lie. Salute to the happily married women. God bless you that was your journey, and God assigned you to a person that you can do life with. Like, you're amazing, and we salute you, but you're not better than a non-married woman. A wife is not better than a non-married woman. That's a lie. God loves you, and he loves me too, without this ring that you have on my finger. It's a lie. And I think that we have to make sure that we make this clear because there's just so many non-married women who feel less than, all because a man has not claimed them as a wife. And I did an interview, and that question was asked to me directly, like, what do I say that a woman is not worthy unless a man picks her? And I laughed, and I said, well, there is some truth to that. There is some truth to that, but it's not about a man picking her. It's about the woman picking herself.
How much have you heard this? A woman isn't complete until she's chosen.
Well, let me remix that. That could be true, but you choose yourself. They say sometimes they're like, Kendra, you're such a pick-me because you agree with men. I'm like, yeah, I am a pick-me. I literally picked me. I chose myself. Yeah. And because I picked Kendra, I lived the life of my dreams. I love Michelle Obama, and not to brag, but I had a lunch with her many years ago when she was the first lady. It was like 17 women, and she dropped so many gems. But one of the things she said that I never forgot is she said, no one's coming to save you, so you better save yourself. And I never forgot that. If you decide to pick yourself, to save yourself, to treat yourself the way you want to be treated, everyone else is going to fall in line or they're going to fall off, and you're going to be okay because now you have raised your standards. I am complete, and I'm going to wake up every single day with a smile on my face because guess what? If you woke up today, you better be smiling because somebody didn't wake up today. I think we take life for granted. And how many moments of your life do you want to waste being sad because you're not somebody's wife? How many moments of your life do you want to waste being sad because a man didn't, quote unquote, pick you? Girlfriend, pick up your face. Remember where you come from. Don't you ever forget it. Do not allow somebody to decide who you are. You decide for yourself. Remember who you belong to.
God damn, mic drop. Okay, this is so good.
I am a proud pick-me. I picked me, literally. And I will pick me time and time again. And if any man can't handle that, then I feel sad for you. I feel sad for the man who does not want a woman who is whole by herself, who knows herself, who can be with you because she wants to be with you, not because her lifestyle or her life period is attached to you. She's with you because she wants you, not because she needs you. And if you can't respect that in a woman, well, that's the kind of man I don't even want to have a conversation with. We would not work well together. Just like a man can be whole and complete by himself, so can a woman. So I just want women to understand in this non-married season that you are so glorious. And God has not forgotten about you. And now I do want to talk about this because I know you want to be married, and maybe that is what God wants for you. And maybe that will happen. It could be a strong possibility. But don't wait until you get married to be happy. Be happy right now, because right now is all you got. This is the only moment you have. So you must be happy in this moment right now, because if not, you are disrespecting God, because he still chose you to be alive. He still chose you to have breath in your body. He chose you to wake up today, and you're going to disrespect him and not be happy because you're not married yet? How dare you? How dare you walk that ungrateful? Girlfriend, put a smile on your face. You're living. See, I think that sometimes, I know the truth of death. My mother's death taught me the truth of death. I was always ambitious, but when my mother died, I became fearless. I am fearless. I always tell this story, and it's very important. I think if you can understand this story, you will understand everything about Kendra and why I am going as far as I can in this breath in my body. When my mother died, I was suicidal. I did not want to live. I was mad at God. I could not believe he took my mother. I was 32 years old. I felt it was so young, and I had so much more life. This was not on the schedule. Like, my mother is dead. And because I know God so much and I believe so much, I knew God could save my mother. So that means he allowed it to happen. I'm a person that believes nothing happens without God's permission in my life. So I know the devil's goal. What is God's goal? That's what I always lean into. The devil wants to attack me. Devil, you kiss my ass. I don't think about you. Even when I'm under attack, I know God allowed it to happen. So I lean into, why did God allow it to happen? That is my motto. So nothing happens to me without God's permission. So why did God allow my mother to die? I was pissed off. I was upset. God knew I was going to be upset because at the time I was living in Philly, shout outs to Pastor Weiler, who I just love so much. And I love my church home, Enon Tabernacle in Philadelphia. And there was another church, I can't remember the name, but there was another church that was so popular that I was going through. My mother was technically dying, but I still couldn't see it, but she was in the hospital at this time. And I just decided to try out a different church this particular Sunday. And I wish I could remember the name, but the pastor did a sermon on being mad at God. And he was talking about when his mother died, that he was mad at God and the congregation was mad at him for being mad at God because he was the pastor. And I had never visited this church in my life. And my mother at this time was in the hospital fighting for her life. And she ended up passing 2 weeks after I heard that sermon. And I knew it was God's way of telling me, I know you about to be mad at me, and I'm okay with it. I know you are about to be mad at me, and I'm okay with it because you are on assignment. I have a purpose for you in your mother's death, and it's something I can only teach you through your mother's death. And I'm going to give you grace because I created you. You are my child. And I'm giving you permission in this moment to be upset with me because you have to go on your own journey. But when you come out of it, you are going to understand my reason why. Ooh. I don't want to cry, but it's my truth. My mother's death is the best and worst thing that has ever happened to me. And the worst is obvious. I lost my mother. The best is it taught me the truth of what it means to be alive. People forget what it means to be alive. We have put so many titles on what it means to be alive and to be happy. No, just being alive is your blessing. Just being alive is the blessing. If you have nothing else but breath, you are blessed. And that is what I want to get across because there's so many people who are also comfortable. Oh, thank you, God. My oracle was saying, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. My mother's death also taught me is, baby, we are on loan. This life is not forever. We know this, but we don't live as such. We get comfortable. we live like we're supposed to be here for eternity. No, we are on assignment and we are here for a while, okay? You know, some will say we are here for a good time, not a long time. And you can take it as such, but this is not home. God allow you to come to planet Earth. Okay, let me get deep with it, for a spiritual journey that you have to go on. But do not get comfortable, because you will return one day. And my mother's death taught me that every day that we get is a blessing. I got 32 years with my mother. I'm blessed. There's some people who lost their mother at the age of 5. There's some people that lost their mother at the age of 20. But guess what? I got 32 years of life with my mother. And I'm so grateful. I'm so beyond thankful that God blessed me with that. I can say that now. Now, again, I'm 13 years removed from my mother's death. I could not talk like this. I could not talk like this. Actually, immediately when my mother died, I was suicidal. Going back to that, I did not want to live. And I remember the moment that gave me the courage to go forward with life. I was living in Philadelphia. I was no longer doing the radio station, and I was working one day a week at Fox Good Day Philadelphia. Shout outs to Mike Jarrett at the time. No, I think Mike Jarrett is still the host in Chanel. And one day a week, I was their entertainment reporter. And literally, I would do it on a Friday. I was the last 5 minutes of the show. And I was mourning my mother's death. And I literally was asleep. Like, this is not a lie. I was on bed rest. I slept the whole day. I couldn't get up, but I would get up that Friday to do that one hit. And my Uncle Aaron, he was on me to create a TV reel. And I was so mad at him because I just wanted to mourn my mother's death. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, you got to put your TV reel together. So I remember I was living in Philadelphia. I go to Apple in Philadelphia with my MacBook, and I put together my clips from my TV reel from Fox Good Day Philly, like the highlight moments. And when I did it, I said, I'm good. Like, I'm really good at this. And I got something to say at the same time. And in that moment, I made a deal with God. I said, okay, listen, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to stay alive. I'm going to live. But life has to be amazing. And he said, say less. So in this moment, as a non-married woman, as a woman with no kids, life is amazing. God, he stood by his promise. And he also stood by, baby girl, I'm not even done with you yet. So don't let the world count you out. Don't let the world tell you that one day you won't get married or you won't have children. Honey, don't listen to them. You listen to me. You are on my time, not their time. And I want to share that same sentiment to you. The game is not over, okay? So don't allow people to count you out. If marriage is what you want, then girlfriend, you're still in the game. I'm going to tell you it's still possible. Yes, I'm going to tell you it's still possible. Point blank, period. I'm not going to tell you what they want me to tell you. They want me to tell you, tell them the truth, that at 80 years old, you're not going to get married. Guess what? 80 years old, it probably is a high probability that you won't get married. I can tell you that. It's a high probability that you won't get married. Is it an absolutely fact that you won't? I'm not going to say that because I'm not God. That's between you and God's life journey. I can't make that absolute statement for you. But what I can tell you is this: whether you get married one day, whether you don't get married one day, your worth is not attached to that. And don't you allow you to attach your worth to that, okay? Don't you allow your worth to be attached to it. So, all the single ladies, cheers to you. There were so many things. I have cards I was supposed to talk about and say, but I prayed and I told God, speak through me. Let me get across what you want me to get across. And that's what I wanted to do. So, and that's what was done. So with that being said, thank you for watching. I'm so excited. Let me tell you, you don't understand how excited I am about finally having my podcast and launching it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. May God bless you. May everything you pray for comes true. And that's all I got to say. Download the dating app, Kendra G Singles. Get the card game and all those wonderful things. Cheers. That's it. We're done. It's a wrap. Thank you for watching. If you made it to the end, I really love you. So thank you for watching. Please push the like and subscribe button. And there we have it. Peace.